But yeah, dude, the fucking Italian guys, I was filing something down and my feet were wrong.
Your what?
My feet were wrong.
Your feet were wrong?
My feet were wrong. I'm looking at everybody with puzzled faces. I had the exact same face.
Wait,
I thought they were
how did it go?
your feet.
Did they walk up to you?
Okay, I was.
They
They told me like
you're bent over.
Hey, no, they're like, hey Ram, hey, can you file this down real quick? And I'm like, yeah, I got you, because I'm mechanic. I'm good mechanic. No, I was just good at mechanically. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Like my first week there, they're like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. Hey, file this down real quick. I'm like, all right, cool. I filed it down. I'm filing, and I'm not doing this, right? Everybody knows how to file. I'm not doing this. I know how to file. I'm filing. And an Italian guy comes up to me. He's like, oh, whoa. Big noises, big hands. And I'm like, what? What happened? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean when I'm filing it down? They're like, no. What do you mean you're filing? How you're filing it wrong? And I'm like, what do you mean? These guys, and mind you, Italians, like everything is done a certain way. Like it just
right. You're filing wrong.
I was filing wrong, and I was like, get the you're fucking with me, right? We're talking in Italian, so it's funnier. And I'm just telling him shit, and he's like, no, you're filing wrong. And I was like, what the fuck? They're like, your feet, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here, my feet, man, shut the fuck up. Let me finish this shit up. And he's like, no, stop. Oh, and they give. You ever seen those like TikToks where they're like pissing off Italians and they're like putting water in coffee or ketchup and that exact reaction these guys were having over me filing with my feet wrong. Yeah, shit like that. And then they are like that. And I was like, what if I was like, they're like, give me the file. And I was like, what? They're like, this file is a what? And I was like, it's a bastard. It's a third degree. Most files are 30 degree, either 30 or 60. The etching on there. And I was like, okay. They're like, so how are you going to file with your feet wrong? And I was like,
the fuck out.
I was like, what the fuck? This guy grabbed, I was like, fucking show me, dude. Get the fuck out of here. They're like, the file is a 30-degree file, so your feet have to be 30 degrees. And I was like,
fuck.
And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, remember, file school. And I was like,
they're fucking with me.
And I was like, shut the fuck. I was like, file school. I was like, bitch, I didn't go to school. I was like, I learned this shit. I'm out here. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, you don't remember from file school? It's a 2-week course. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, what do you mean file school? Dude, get the fuck out of here. They're like, yes. They're like, how? And he's standing like this. And he's like, how can you file like this? The file is 30 degrees. Stand 30 degrees and file like that. And I was like, shut the fuck up. And I was like, no, let's try it. Whatever. I was like, whatever, I'll do it, dude. Get the fuck out of here. So I do this. They're like, try it. And I'm filing. I was like, all right, whatever. And then I stood at an angle and that file started cutting more. I swear to God, it was cutting more.
It wasn't all like in here?
Huh?
It wasn't in here?
No. Because I can feel like on the SCA systems, you know how like they're machined or whatever?
Yeah.
Like my guys always come up to me. They're like, hey, I need you to file something. Now I'm good. Dude, you do it for 3 weeks, 84 hours a week. All you do is file. I know what a file feels like. I know how to file. You know what I mean? So I was like, get the fuck out of there. Like, how can you do anything if you don't know how to file? And I was like, get the fuck out of here. They're like, from now on, you only file. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm not getting paid $10 an hour either. I'm getting paid decent money. And I'm like, I got to file? They're like, yeah, you file. They're like, how can you do anything if you can't file? Okay. If you don't know how to file, you can't like. And I was like, all right. They're like 30 degrees. I was like, all right, cool. So then I'm exacerbating everything, and I'm filing. And they're like, hey, I flipped it, and I'm standing this way or whatever. And they're like, yes, that's good. And I was like, whatever. But they were like that with everything, drilling, tapping, and thankfully I learned. Because like coming from oil and gas, like precision isn't what we're looking for. We're looking for not going kaboom. Unless it's like a weld, then yes. Like if it's a pipe fit and a weld and all that stuff, 100%. Yeah. And like torquing stuff down,
or like losing gas when you're transferring, right?
Well, when I say oil and gas, like not literal gas, like in the refining process, you take oil and you boil it, and then you get the byproducts. Gasoline boils off first, then nap, whatever, which is what everything made out of rubber is, and then kerosene and diesel, and the last thing you get is asphalt. but they're literally towers. You ever drive by Houston? They're giant towers, and that's the first one. That's the first process of it, and then it goes into an exchanger and all this stuff. But anyways, the only thing that's precise is like torque, like filing. Like if I gotta file something, I take a grinder to it. Like I gotta file this down. There's no such thing as like, oh, it's a machine surface. You got, oh no, you get some Mexican, you're like, hey, cut it right here, and he's like, cool, and you torque it. So you put a gasket and you torque it. You know what I mean? Torquing is precise. But yeah, I didn't know any of that shit. Or like even drilling and tapping shit, like precise shit. I know how to fix shit, but the Italians were like, no, do breaking bolts. Had a real problem with how I broke bolts.
How you break like a
How I broke bolts. Like if I'm gonna break a bolt now, it's like etched in my head, but like this, right? It's like real tight. And you're doing this or whatever, right? You're like, oh, whoa. That's her favorite. Fucking, what are you doing? How are you gonna break that bolt like that? And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you get the 90 degrees and you break, okay? And not this, none of that. You do the 90 degrees and you break. You know, like what, like little shit like that, but they care. You know what I mean? They have attention to detail.
Yeah, there's a sort of pop to it that.
Yeah, and it's finesse.
You can't just put a load on it.
Exactly. It's literally finesse. And now, like, I go to break a bolt, and it's like instinctive, right? I just break it. But there's shit that matters that here, like, your average person now doing things will not look at. Even like I tell my guys, now I get on to my guys because their feet aren't right when they're fighting, and they think I'm for them. And I'm like, I swear to God. And I tell them this exact same story, and they lose their fucking mind. And I'm like, dude, trust me. And then my second flip would come out was drilling holes. One time we were on a job, and all the holes are wrong on the table. They had me drilling holes. And I was just fucked. Dude, you've seen one of our tables, right?
Yeah.
How many holes are in that motherfucker?
A lot. And they're precise.
Imagine you had to drill them out yourself.
No, CNC. Fuck that.
So I had to fix a bunch of tables. And I was just, the first table, 12 hole, I was like this, dude, because I got to drill and tap it. And they told me to drill them. They're like, whoa, same thing, 90 degrees, all this shit, bullshit. Italian bullshit that I learned, and it works.
I think it's a lot. I mean, my experience with Italians is a lot of them were engineers before they were tradesmen.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them have very critical thinking skills when it comes to like just doing a basic task.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like, all right, nowadays I can just hire anybody for cheap, but now I got to show them that one task over and over again. Like concrete. A lot of concrete guys are like that. I got like, if you want really good concrete or whatever in your house, hit up an Italian company.